Good evening, dear friends. It's a real pleasure to see you all at that late hour still here at the conference. It's a good surprise. I made a small trick tonight. I've sent my formal statement to the organizers, so if somebody would want to have a look at it, that will be provided by the organizers. And I decided thus to add to the message that I brought here a couple of different points that I would like to raise in addition to this formal statement. We are talking about the future. We are talking about vision. What is vision? That's my, let's say, starting point. That's how we see the future. And what is the future? Do we build the future, or the future occurs no matter how hard we pull on the accelerator? Does future supersede the present, or it grows out of the present? They are not simple questions. When the future comes, it is today. Maybe we should occupy the future already today. We live and we seem to be adjusted to the tempo of change ongoing. But somehow we do not learn very well the lessons, and we do not inquisitive enough to understand that the future is here. It's like if you take a person who has never rode a bicycle, bring to him a bicycle and tell him, ride. He'll say, am I crazy? Just two wheels, I will fall from that bicycle. That he doesn't know how to do that. But the same that is going with us today. We don't know how to write the future today, and we can. In order to do that, we have to get out of the vicious circle. What I mean? Albert Einstein once mentioned that if you do the same thing over and over again, and then you do it again, expecting a totally different outcome of your experience, this is the clear definition of insanity. That's what we are doing. We are repeating all the time this circle. What I mean? We are trying to find a solution in quick fixes and technological solutions. We're talking about the future of humanity. We're not talking about the future of the technological process. Let's not forget that. We should be talking about the future of a human being. What is the main characteristic of today? We lived in transit time. To say that means nothing, because, well, more or less every time is transit from past, etc. But we live in a special transit time. We live when everything is changing. And not only the world around us, we are changing with this world. And more than that, this change, our change, has become a conditio sine qua non of our survival as a species, as a human species on the planet. If we don't understand that, I would be very pessimistic about our future. Let me say about a couple of words about what we can expect. And this is not, something which is imaginary. I'm not a futurist, but I see what's happening. I see that we have now already almost, or at least in the making, of the integrated world economy. What will be the result of that? Not in terms of the business opportunities, about the dictate of the corporate world, that we will live with that for some time in the future. It's unavoidable, unfortunately. But what will happen as a result of that? For me, it's clear this new qualitative change will require totally new global governance system. And that come up regardless of our wishes, whether we want it or not. We can change certain parameters, but it will be changed. Information technologies and communications. Actually, we live at the time of the creation of the sort of the meta web, meta system, where we all are connected to this system. We are connected 24 hours, 7 days a week, day and night, all the time. It changes us. It changes our mentality. I can give you an example. A couple of years ago, I was visiting my friends in the suburbs of Moscow. And the granddaughter of my friends, she saw a butterfly coming on the window. And she's about maybe 3 years old, but she already knows how to use iPad, iPhone, and everything. So she came to the window with a butterfly on the outside and tried to resize it. Because she's used to that. This is just a monitor, and she's used to that. I'm saying that it's a curious, it causes smiling, but it's not about smiling. The distinction line between reality and the virtual reality is becoming more and more blurred today. And soon we will not be able to distinguish where this line is drawn. What does it mean? It will change social standards, consumption standards. It will change the way we live, not only the way we produce, but the way we live. It's already changed. You know, my organization is located in Switzerland. Now they are taking a new law. They are taking a law to forbid using the telephone on the internet during the time when you cross the street. It changes already the habits of the people. It's here today. It will be happening tomorrow. Then the new geopolitical balance that is in the making, we see it. We see it with the tendencies going on in Europe, with the speculations about whether Britain will remain in Europe today or will it leave it, and etc., etc. Well, in fact, we have a very huge growing center of power in Asia, in the East. We have also an extremely quickly growing continent of Africa, which is practically doubling in population every 40 years, will be doubling. And that will also change a lot in terms of our abilities, capacities, trade, etc., and production as well. It will change, by all means, political situation on the planet. Today we were talking about extrapolating European situation. You know, this switch towards the new powerhouse of the world will not left unattended these situations that exist elsewhere. Then we have already today the new, totally new, aggregate balance between the relationship between human being and nature. The burden of nature is amazing. Today, the GDP of the world is roughly $60 trillion a year. By the year 2050, it will be $200 trillion a year. Three populations of current populations, three worlds sitting on the resources of the same one Earth, just in a number of years. That will have to change the way we produce, the way we trade, the way we consume. And the bicycle is there. It's already there. We are talking about that all the time, about circular economy, about decoupling the growth from the development, etc., etc. And we know the models how to do it. Unfortunately, there is still no traction between knowing and doing. And the last but not least, the new biological breakthroughs and medical breakthroughs, they are changing, enhancing human capacity beyond the limits of the traditional definitions of humanity. Soon we will have problems to say what is human. Okay, if today, for God's sake, I will have an artificial hand, which is commands going from my brain, and it works, and it exists already. Okay, and what is in the future if the person will have artificial head? Will it be still a human being, the personality, the same personality as it was before, or not? We will have a range of issues, a range of terrible questions for which we cannot find answers today. International system is already boiling up. We see it from Middle East to Ukraine. We see it in Africa, the eruption of Ebola, etc., etc. And then my question, we see all that, and we say, okay, let's just, somebody said that, some group said, I think to NATO, let's now concentrate on Ebola. My God, this is exactly the same pattern of behavior to which Albert Einstein addressed. Because we cannot save the world of pandemics. We cannot save the world of climate change. We cannot pacify and provide real security to the world unless we deal with all these issues with system approach. They are systemic. They are not solvable anymore separately. And I think that this map of the world has changed already as well. That's another bicycle. We understand that this space of intertwined, let me say, challenges and problems and areas, from politics to economy, from natural science to medical problems, health and poverty eradication. Everything is connected, but again, we logically, we theoretically understand that, but we are not ready to accept it. We still deal with the world as it were fragmented integrality. We accept that it's integrality, but we continue to work on it as it is fragmented. In fact, the problem is, again, it's a human being. It is in the culture, in social relationship of the people. You know, there was at the time of the Soviet Union, close to the end of the Soviet Union, a joke. They decided to reprofile one military plant and to convert it into producing the children, I don't know, let's say pens. Simply pens. And they used to produce machine guns. So they start the conversion process, they change the assembly line, they change everything, they change the chief constructor, but then they report, we don't understand how it happens. We change everything, but whatever we do at the end of the line, we get a machine gun Kalashnikov. Because that's in the minds of the people. And that the same thing happens in the real life, because, you know, they say, if you look through the gun sight, children will look terrorists. and that is in our brains. We look at the other nation through the gun sight. And that creates a lot of problems to the world, and it costs us a lot. Well, let me just conclude. I've spoken in my paper about the vision, about what Green Cross is doing on that. If you would be interested, you can have a look. But I want to invite everybody to look and to recognize this bicycle of the future, which is parked somewhere in the next room to us. Thank you.